Good day, students. Welcome to JSS 2 Basic Science, Term 2, Week 1. Today we study photosynthesis, the most important chemical process on Earth. Every breath of oxygen you take, every gram of food you eat, directly or indirectly comes from photosynthesis. Green plants use sunlight energy to convert carbon dioxide and water into glucose and oxygen. This is the foundation of almost all life on Earth. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to write and explain the equation for photosynthesis, identify the raw materials, products, and conditions needed, describe the structure of the leaf as adapted for photosynthesis, state the factors that affect the rate of photosynthesis, and explain the importance of photosynthesis to living things and the environment. Let us explore the factory of life. Photosynthesis is the process by which green plants and other photosynthetic organisms like algae and cyanobacteria use energy from sunlight to synthesize glucose from carbon dioxide and water. The word equation: carbon dioxide plus water, light energy, chlorophyll, glucose plus oxygen. The chemical equation: 6CO2 plus 6H2O, light, chlorophyll, C6H2O6 plus 6O2. Summary of inputs and outputs. Raw materials: input carbon dioxide, absorbed from air through stomata, water, absorbed from soil through roots, up through stem in xylem vessels, light energy, sunlight, absorbed by chlorophyll. Products: outputs glucose, C6H2O6, used for energy, respiration, storage, converted to starch, growth, converted to cellulose and proteins, oxygen, released as a byproduct, essential for aerobic respiration of all organisms. Chlorophyll is the green pigment in plant cells that absorbs light energy, mainly red and blue wavelengths, reflects green wavelengths, which is why plants appear green. Chlorophyll is found in organelles called chloroplast, mainly in leaf cells. Section 1. The leaf as the site of photosynthesis. The leaf is specially adapted to be an efficient photosynthesis factory. Leaf adaptations: large, flat, thin shape, maximizes light absorption and minimizes the distance CO2 must diffuse through the leaf. Transparent upper epidermis, allows light to pass through to the palisade cells below. Palisade mesophyll cells, tall, tightly packed cells near the upper surface, packed with chloroplast. This is where most photosynthesis occurs. Spongy mesophyll cells, below the palisade, loosely arranged with large air spaces, allows CO2 and O2 to circulate easily. Stomata. Singular, stoma, tiny pores mainly on the lower surface, allow CO2 in and O2 out. Each stoma is controlled by two guard cells that open or close the pore. Veins, or vascular bundles. Xylem brings water to the leaf. Phloem carries glucose away from the leaf. Section 2. The two stages of photosynthesis. Photosynthesis occurs in two linked stages. Stage 1. Light-dependent reactions occur in the thylakoid membranes of the chloroplast. Light energy is absorbed by chlorophyll, water is split, photolysis 2H2O 4H plus 4E plus O2. Oxygen is released. ATP, energy currency, and NADPH, electron carrier, are produced. These carry energy to stage 2. Stage 2, light-independent reactions, Calvin cycle, occur in the stroma of the chloroplast. CO2 is fixed, combined with a 5-carbon molecule, RuBP, using the enzyme RuBCO, using the ATP and NADPH from stage 1, glucose, C6H2O6, is produced. At JSS level, knowing that photosynthesis has two stages, one needing light, one not, is sufficient. Section 3. Factors affecting the rate of photosynthesis. The rate of photosynthesis can be increased or decreased by changing the conditions. Three main limiting factors. 1. Light intensity. Increasing light increases the rate of photosynthesis, up to a maximum, the light saturation point. Beyond that point, another factor becomes limiting. 2. Carbon dioxide concentration. Increasing CO2 increases photosynthesis rate, up to the point where light or temperature becomes limiting. 3. Temperature. Photosynthesis involves enzyme-controlled reactions. Increasing temperature up to about 40 degrees Celsius increases the rate. Above 40 to 45 degrees Celsius, enzymes denature, permanently lose their shape and function, and the rate drops to zero. In Nigerian conditions, during the dry season, harmattan, dust particles reduce light intensity reaching leaves. During the rainy, wet season, high humidity and sufficient water can increase photosynthesis rates. High daytime temperatures in Nigerian cities, above 40 degrees Celsius in some northern regions, can actually inhibit photosynthesis in some plants. Section 4. Uses of glucose produced in photosynthesis. The glucose produced is used for respiration, broken down to release energy, ATP, for all cell functions, storage as starch. Starch is insoluble and stored in leaves, roots, seeds, e.g., cassava, yam, maize grain, conversion to sucrose, transported in phloem to other parts of the plant, making cellulose, structural molecule forming plant cell walls, making fats and oils, stored in seeds, e.g., palm kernel, groundnut, making amino acids and proteins, when combined with mineral salt. Nitrogen from nitrates in soil, these form the structural proteins and enzymes of the plant. Section 5. Importance of photosynthesis. 1. Produces oxygen. All aerobic organisms, including humans and animals, depend on photosynthetic oxygen for respiration. 2. Primary food production. Plants are the primary producers in all food chains. They convert solar energy to chemical energy, glucose, making it available to all other organisms. 3. Carbon dioxide removal. Photosynthesis removes CO2 from the atmosphere, helping regulate climate. Deforestation in Nigeria, due to logging and farming, reduces this function, contributing to global warming. 4. Fossil fuels, coal, oil, and natural gas are the remains of organisms that stored energy from photosynthesis millions of years ago. Photosynthetic energy stored as chemical energy in fossil fuels. 5. Food and raw materials for Nigeria. Nigerian agriculture, yam, cassava, maize, cocoa, palm oil, groundnut, rubber, all depend on photosynthesis. These crops are the backbone of the Nigerian economy and food security. The starch test, iodine test, is used to investigate photosynthesis. The test, iodine solution changes from brown-yellow to dark blue-black in the presence of starch. Experiment, a variegated leaf, green and white areas, is destarched, kept in the dark for 24 hours to remove existing starch, then exposed to light for several hours. The leaf is then tested for starch. Result, the green areas of the leaf, containing chlorophyll, turn blue-black, starch present. The white areas, no chlorophyll, remain brown-yellow, no starch. Conclusion: chlorophyll is necessary for photosynthesis. Where there is no chlorophyll, no glucose is produced, and therefore no starch can be stored. Examination question: state one raw material and one product of photosynthesis and give the source/fate of each. Raw material, carbon dioxide, obtained from the atmosphere through the stomata in the leaf. Product, oxygen, released into the atmosphere through the stomata as a byproduct. For photosynthesis errors. Mistake 1. Saying photosynthesis occurs in all plant cells. Photosynthesis occurs only in cells containing chloroplast, which contain chlorophyll. Root cells have no chloroplast and cannot photosynthesize. Mistake 2. Saying oxygen is the food made in photosynthesis. Oxygen is a byproduct of photosynthesis. Glucose is the food produced. Mistake 3. Reversing the equation, CO2 and water are reactants, go in, glucose and oxygen are products, come out. Do not reverse them. Mistake 4. Saying photosynthesis occurs in animals. Animals cannot photosynthesize, they are heterotrophs and must eat plants or other animals for food. Only organisms with chlorophyll can photosynthesize. Excellent work. Photosynthesis, 6CO2 plus 6H2O C6H2O 6 plus 6O2 in light, using chlorophyll. Raw materials, CO2 from air through stomata, water from soil through roots. Products, glucose, food, and oxygen, byproduct. Site, chloroplast in leaf cells, mainly palisade mesophyll. 2 stages, light-dependent, splits water, produces O2, ATP, NADPH, light-independent/Calvin cycle, fixes CO2, makes glucose. Limiting factors, light intensity, CO2 concentration, temperature. Glucose used for respiration, starch storage, cellulose, fats, proteins. Importance, produces oxygen, basis of all food chains, removes CO2, Nigerian crops depend on it. For homework, design an experiment to show that light is necessary for photosynthesis. Describe the setup, expected results, and conclusion.